on the screen. And Dwayne is right here with us, and Maria Rainbow Sweetheart is nearby too. They both love you, and we are doing our broadcast, and now we're showing again the group of the Statue of Liberties. That means symbolically that women of all different nations are gathering for parity instead of patriarchy, and they have, but you haven't. Okay, you ladies, and despite our family's genealogical inheritance on this, haven't figured it out. Miriam at Exodus asked for equality. The problem was she didn't ask for it for all the women. She asked for it for herself. Tokenism. Okay? That's the difference. She was cursed as soon as she did that, but everyone thought it was because she challenged Moses. That wasn't the reason. The reason was she didn't stand up for the other women. Okay? That's the real reason. And she had an opportunity to do so, and she didn't, and neither did any of the women at that time. You're making the same mistake. The same mistake was made at the time of Queen Esther. And we have to discuss the different nationalities there and their religious points of view and how much they had in common and how they came out of probably a common origin in India. And you're going to read about that on the website. So here's the Statues of Liberties from all over the world. And here is the new millennial golden rule. And here is the marvelous, miraculous, virtuous place. And of our half-crown halo gathering for a home balanced with enterprise to help the family and community. And here we have our special important recording to play for you.
Although she said she couldn't be the maid for everybody, she took some direction. That's when she came back and started to show that her whole love was to be on her children there. She didn't running so just to get along, get enough to eat. She was careful, very careful. And there was a sister, Clara.
All right, so now we're going to do our ceremony, and I'm sure you all know this is going to be coming to you in the various ways we do, let you know. So let's do our ceremony quickly and simply, because we've got a lot to do on your behalf, and I'm running behind, but not giving up. And I ask God for extensions of time on us, because I think you are worth it, as fallen as you are, and you are very fallen. We all are. We're all very fallen. I myself too. We don't recognize the extent to which we are alienated from nature and separated from one another, especially the women and the younger people. So let's, and the older men too, but you wouldn't expect them to notice it because they don't have as much estrogen. So, funny, don't do that. Okay, cutie. Okay, and let's do our ceremony. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible. And we'll say Namaste, Mitakuya Oyasin, Mitakuya Kosevaral, Kongsom Pax, Kompax Culture. Tubes, Segleric, Tubes. You know, those Unitarians and Unity people are the only people who are not stuck in sectarianism. The rest of you, so many of you, are, and you're not living in the times that you're supposed to be living in. Wake up. And you're living on a planet, not just within one group. You're an interconnected planet. That's what you have to remember you are now. And we have, and we'll say, Bahava l'chaim shalom salam salam. Bahava l'chaim shalom salam soul, which is loving, living peace in Persian. Soul, salam, and shalom. And we'll say mir pace, pace mir, and we'll say merci, ciao, buenos dias, ubuntu, shlanzvag, and das vidanya, sayonara, chop chop, chin quay, good day, cheerio, and many, many more. And if we forgot any languages, you include them. And of course, there's many more. And we'll say, let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all, both in each and every one, especially as Equinox QQs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, all of us, budding and blooming solar, marvelous miraculous, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. Sure. Remember, all you have to do is recalculate the lives of the people of the past had they lived by the new millennial golden rule. Recalculate the presence that they would have in the accounts of the story of the time. Calculate how the wealth of the time would have been distributed according to the new millennial golden rule, and what their gatherings would have been like. Then you'll have an understanding of time travel, and you'll be able to access the Akashic record and help those whose souls got trapped in patriarchy to become risen. So now let's say that again. Let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all, both in each and every one. As Equinox QQs, Co-Secretary Generals, Solar, Co-Secretary Generals, Solar, Marvelous, Miraculous, Budding, Blooming, Gardening and Growing, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, Equinox QQs. And we'll also say, we'll drink the milk of human kindness on behalf of all, both in each and every one, as representing all, both in each and every one, as Equinox QQs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, starting with the importance of on-cue breastfeeding for every holy baby girl and holy baby boy. In my family, your family, and all our families, past, present, future, it's all one family. And then the importance of human kindness throughout our lives. Human kindness sometimes means speaking honestly instead of covering up a socially accepted falsehood. Okay, so loving does not only mean just enabling, it means actually loving. Okay, and let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all, both in each and every one, as Equinox QQs, budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous, solar, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, of the Milky Ways of divine and human kindness on this and all our planets of the Milky Ways of all our universe. I drank on behalf of all, both in each and every one, representing all, both in each and every one as soon as possible. That was delicious. And then we have our Purim and our Passover. Remember, we're bringing back spring to every day. We have Purim from March. We have Passover from April. And we also have Mother's Day and common mothers and great and grandmothers' child days every day, no matter what the month is. We have it every day. And we have the promise of 50-50 Purim, the promise of the promised land, as well as eternal life of Easter. So we have Earthsz and Easters. We have the Vedic Soma, that was an egalitarian culture, and had obviously a pantheon that included fully powerful goddesses. They were not secondary in the egalitarian telling of Hinduism. And then we also have the entheons of the Eleusinian mysteries, again, an egalitarian culture. The women were not secondary. And and the cocos of the Latin American cultures, many of the Native American and Latin American cultures were balanced by gender. The women were very, very important. So let's drink on behalf of all, both of each and everyone, representing all, both and each and everyone now as soon as possible, as Equinox QQs, budding, blooming, gardening, growing, all these marvelous, miraculous fruits and flowers and seeds and fruits, and in the solar light, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. I drink on behalf of all, both and each and everyone, representing all, both and each and everyone as soon as possible. Very delicious, past, present, futures, Equinox QQs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. And we have our our water of loving living planets that will drink and will regain and sustain on our planet and all our planets, past, present, future, as Equinox QQs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. Many people think there was advanced life on Mars. They lost all their water. How did it happen? Same way it's happening right here. The women were not making the decisions. The little green men ruled for too long. There wasn't enough pink. There was too much green, and the green became brown, and then they lost everything. Okay, you have to understand. It's about the balance of yin and yang. How did Venus become an unlivable planet? Maybe very similarly. They didn't have enough balance of the males, and there was no energy, and it all turned into blach. And so we have to do both. Let's get the balance of the Venus and Mars, okay? And we can have eternal life on this and all planets, Earth, throughout our universe as depicted on this cup. Let's, with the solar stars and connecting them all. Our sun, it can be connected to Vega, as talked about in the movie Contact. We can do it. Let's drink on behalf of all, both and each and every one. I drink on behalf of all, both and each and everyone, and representing all, both and each and every one now and as soon as possible, as equinox cues, solar, photosynthesizing, star stuff, equinox cues, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries. Past, present, future, in space-time, okay? And and then we have our cakes. This is very important. We've missed a lot of your birthdays over these years. We haven't had a family reunion in our multiply interrelated families for how many hundreds of years? How many thousands of years have we not had an egalitarian family reunion? Wake up. We need to have it. This is the new millennium. I want to start it off right. New millennia. So let's celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days, past, present, future, as equinox cues, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, starting with our Shekinahs, and all our Shekinahs and young Shekinahs and young Hekinahs equally, age 37 and younger thereabout. And then we'll put that together, gather in that group, and we have a egalitarian culture well begun. And we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days as marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming, solar, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries. And we'll say it again. And solar, heart light. Let me put it that way. Solar, heart light. Of milky kindness. And we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days as equinox cues, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries of equinox in all seasons, human kindness, milky ways, budding and blooming, marvelous, miraculous, solar, of heart lights always, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, equinox cues. Equally important. All those descriptions are equally important. Just make them in a circle in the way you're thinking of them. There isn't a priority of one over the other. They're all interactive. And then we have our statement that we always make to you that, of course, we have rice and we have oats to represent the foodstuffs of other cultures, not just wheat, to become risen. But I didn't get to the important Purim and Passover cookie yet, so let me do that. We have our Purim and our Passover wafer. And Purim and Passover wafer, it's round, triangulated, hierarchical. It is, we look at the flat bread as not something that's a good thing. It means that the people are living under pressure and they're running away from tyranny that's coming out of patriarchy. So we're going to fulfill the promise of 50-50 of Purim and the promise of Passover rising, making the bread risen, and the promise of eternal life of Easter, Earthsz and Earthsz, and we fill them all. And then we do that via the new millennial golden rule. And then we are risen, as shown by our breads here. We have our round bread, which symbolizes the females, and our oval bread, symbolize the male. Show these to you again. Okay, our round bread for the females and our oval bread for the males. Okay, and then we are symbolizing becoming risen. And we, as I said, we have our oats and our rice. We have the foodstuffs of our other cultures. Okay, and very importantly, and I would thank Mother on this on all their planets, Mother Nature. And we have our eggs of egalitarian culture. Very importantly, let's include those in our ceremony. You are eggs. You all have the X chromosome. Everybody has an X chromosome. Women have 2. Men have 1. Men have a Y chromosome. It's very valuable. Women can enjoy that Y chromosome a great deal, but that doesn't mean they should prefer it. Okay? Shouldn't mean they should try to imitate it. It's of their own. They don't have to imitate Y energies, although they have some Yang within them. But they are Yin energies are very powerful. Now, we have our eggs. We have 1 egg like me crawling the circle. We have 2 eggs like Lee and I in the recent broadcast on 11-2345-2345, and we have 3 eggs like Patricia and Ree and I that you sort of heard so many times. You hear on the tape all the time when I send you the emails, and we bring them all together, and then we add more women. We go from 3 to 7 to 11. Co-anoint one of those co-secretary generals, co-secretary equinoctial cues. Then we add to our group, or they can just jump on us and say, look, we're going to do this, ladies, gather. Our young people, our young women and our young men, optimally 4, but we can start with even just a few, 1 or 2, 3 or 4, whatever, and anoint them, co-anoint them as co-secretary generals, co-secretary equinoctial cues. We might want to have a 5th female right now, because we yet have to reclaim a tippage toward the female in order to get to the point where our pendulum can be perfectly balanced. So let's do that, and then when we do that, we're going to then know that the relationships of women, all women symbolized by these 2 eggs, is improved. Then the relationships of females and males, all females and males, are improved by these 2 eggs. Here again, that means egalitarian marriage is the way of marriage, and much better for families and communities and children, and we already know that, and it's already been proved. And then we also have our men's relationships without all the false hierarchies that men make each other miserable with and literally kill each other over. And then we have our single egg again, like I am, or you, and you can be either female or male, calling for balance of gender, and say parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future. And just by saying that, you make a big difference in the universe. Just let everyone you know hear you say that. Okay, and so we've done that. And now we have our consciousness currencies. You know, these are on the 5050now.wordpress.com website, under the area of grassroots, congresses, courts, and assemblies, under the section all among representatives, you, and you, and your names are spelled out there. They have been now for years, and yet you haven't even left a comment. I keep saying this to you, and you don't think it's important to comment on it. You know, you are asking, you're treating each other like roaches. Roaches eat each other. Do you want to eat each other? You may wind up doing that. Soylent Green. I probably won't be here when that happens. Is that what you want? You can have eternal life right now on this and all our planets, the best of Stargate and Star Trek, but you're too busy resisting Mama to have it. You're waiting for Daddy to tell you what to do at a time when Daddy can't tell you what to do. He's only doing back his old dirty dance. It doesn't work anymore, and you're letting him do it. Why are you leaving him bereft too? You're hurting your children, you're hurting all the women, you're hurting all the children, and you are hurting the men. The women in this generation in North America are hurting everyone by their silence on the difference between parity and patriarchy, and that includes tokenism as a face of patriarchy. Let's do our kisses. We have here our Winnerian, our Delian, Morellian, Margilian, Silver Golden Kindian, Zalkindian, all our Kindians, and our Feldmarian family, very, very important. And the Margilian and the Feldmarian make a circle of Mar. Mar means to flow. It's the seas that unite this planet. Okay, I was learning something about the name of Atlantis. Atlantis countless. Atlas was a Titan. Before the Olympians of Greece, there were Titans. Astrea, the goddess of the Statue of Liberty, is a Titan. Rhea, Astrea, was a Titan. There was another Titan who was likely considered his wife. Another name for the same kind of mother goddess. She was called an Oceanid. She was the Maria. She made everything flow. When you don't do that, Atlas is going to drop the planet. He can't hold it up without the Maria. Okay, that's the way it is. And so, so this is very important to understand. And we have so our various family groupings here. We also have Herzogin, Herstian, and we have Lichtian, and we have Sagan and Sweet and Sagan. We have obviously Janser Slate, Anna Maria Patricia's, the European names, but also we have our Native American names, everything from sunflowers to singing crickets and all the creatures of that give humanity its glory of enjoying what nature can do for us, including the flowers and the trees and all the in between. And also mentioned, we also have our Lee Winfrey family. We have our Kapadia Gandhi family. Let me go back and start that with that one. Kapadia and Gandhi family. And we have our Isabella, and I have to look up the name from Romania, Hungary, the Unitarians. I'll look up that name. It's Ya something. I'll find it. Jakos, it's an unpronounceable Polish name. And we have them, and we have Lee Winfrey, and we have Brand Skakel, Fitzgerald, Hannah Fitzgerald, Kennedy, Bouvier Kennedy, Shriver, Cuomo. And Cuomo takes us right back to Atlantis. There we are, okay? And that's where we are from. And we also have Goldenberg here. And so we include that very much. And Goldenbergs were on the Atlantis. Atlantis, we already know that. And so were the Howards, okay? We know one of the doctors in our family community was on Atlantis, okay? So now that's our, and we want to start with those branches of all those names in the past generations, the ones who are waiting the Akashic record. Good women. They tried their best. They tried their best within patriarchy. And then we have our current generations of women, all of the same surnames. And then we have our younger generations, females and males, all of the same surnames, and many, many more, all of them. And we want to give you all big kisses and hugs. And let's put a lot of milky kindness in those hugs. And then we have our larger branching family tree, and where we start using some of the first names of people that are equally holy. So we, of course, want to start with this Harriet and Ray. Ray and his Harriet, and the name Harriet or Hannah in Hebrew and Hera belong together. The tree of love and life belongs with the remembered name of the queen of the Olympian pantheon, but it goes beyond that, and it says Hera, her light, okay? Her light of the universe. Astrea, her light of the universe is coming into us here. So we have, we thank them for our marvelous, miraculous gathering place. We have, who would lead us, Marion, his mother's name, and we have Libertarian Astrea, of our Adelian Morellian family, and we have obviously, again, it's her Harriet and Ray. Ray is her Harriet. Ray and Clara, it's her Harriet, and Presh and Jacqueline. We have Harriet and Jacqueline, and we have Precious Antoinette. We have Lillian, Rose, Adele, and Adele and more there, Lillian, and also Lee and Thelma. And we have Risen Rose. We have included with her Maria, Milk, Honey, and Flowing Kindness, Water, and Annette. And we have Dorothy, and we have Dorothy, and we have Myrtle, Marie, Pearl, and and Myrtle, Marie, Pearl, and Rosa, and we also have our own two pearls, and Ruby of the silver golden kind family, and we have Giselle, and we have other Feldmarian women. We have Dorothy, I've already mentioned, and we have Lynn and Rachel. Lynn of Everything's All Connected, and Rachel, yes, we can open the Stargates family. We have Barbara, we have Bessie, we have Hattie Mae and Gawagi and Lillian Gay and all their African American family, and we have let's see, we have our Mazu and the family connected to Shuyan and Lee and Chans. We have, did I say already, our Kapadia, Kasturba and Radha. Kasturba and Radha and here in this generation's here. And we also have our Eunice and Jacqueline and Rose and other kind of escape, you know, the Fitzgerald, Hannah, Kennedy, Cuomo, all of those people. Then we have our current generations of women, so very, very important and so very much feeling right now that it frightens me. You have so much gifts and you're like frozen. It's like you've been put into a statue form, like the story of Galatea of My Fair Lady, and you can't stop being a statue. You're just stuck. Let's wake you up. We have Marion, and we have Victoria and Mariama, Julianne Marie and I. We have Alexandra and Rachel and Juliana and Francesca. We have Batya, Helene, Sherry, and Arlene, and also we have Susan, and remembering Nefamba, we have Susan, Sarah, and Jardine and Laura, remembering Bethan, and we have, who's definitely a connection to Atlantis, we have Anna Marie singing crickets, and Ma Patricia sunflowers, and Laura and Sophie and Martha and Pauline. We have Patricia, Oprah, Alicia, and Krishnandra. And did I say here? I should not forget to say we have Priyanka. We have Sonia, and we have Vedanta, who's teaching us all about seeds. Okay. They're contemporaries of ours. They're right on our planet. We have the women of the Best Practices Foundation, Sujanitha, I can't really pronounce her name. I've talked with them. We have Raja, and I neglected to mention in this upper generation, we have Marija, the great goddess archaeologist, and we have Rasa and Sylvia and Diana, who we've had at least Raja and Sylvia on the broadcasts. And we have also Mary and Carrie. Mary of a very great name, obviously, the obvious name. Pay attention to in our family. And then we have Carrie of the, yes, we can open all the Stargates family. And we have Donna and Diana, and remembering Barbara and Bessie. We have did I say Denise and Marcia? Denise and Marcia. These are goddess names. Where do you think these names come from? They're goddess names. Okay, and I said Oprah and Patricia, and okay, and also Kathleen and Caroline and Marie and all the various family there, and then we have our younger people. So very important, and I'm very frightened that I didn't get some contact with some of you yesterday. I'm going to make sure I go about that today and apologize for that lapse. I was so busy working on these with emails for you that I didn't make the rounds in the best way I wanted to. So we also want to include you. We have Hadass, Rachel Marie, Daniel Juliet, Stacy Anastasia, Soma, Vanessa Salia, Raquel Juliet, Julia Raquel, Lynn and Sharon. We have Elisa and Hillel. We have, and did I say Cheryl up here in this generation? Cheryl and Andrea and Meredith up here in the middle generation. Very important. They're Mari and Moon, and we have and Susan, another one, and we have Angeline and April and Edith and Sarah. We have did I say Hillel and Ashira and Natalie and Elisa and Rebecca and Sandra and Sarah and Abby and Sarah and we have Aquarius and many more. We have our young men equally important. We have Ben, Shannon, and John. We have Yeshai, Harlan, Leviz, Wesley. We have Marcel, Ross. We have Etani and Eric and Jared and many more. And we have I think and Andre and many more. And we have some Roberts, and we have various people on the Celtic family there, and many more. And we have Rahul. Let's not forget Rahul and others there that are connected to our Vedic heritages, and that also connects our Hungarian and Romanian heritages of the Unitarians there and the Baha'i. So then we also have. And I think I said all the young men, and so after we've given you all your anointedness as co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, then we also include, after we've brought that the older women come back as young women through the stargates, we also include and more. And so let's give you all your big kisses, and here Doni Rurfeliz wants to join you. She's giving you the big kisses with me. And then I have my branches of family that are there at Winston, at the Heartland, Chicago, very important. Let's have it Winston's and not Lewiston's. Oh, I neglected to mention, I don't know why I forgot, Pearl and I'm sorry, Malka and Shirley and Georgine. Malka and Georgine, we show them on this branch too. We have Victoria and Mariana, we have Julia Marie and I, we have Georgine, we have nearby Cheryl. We have many, we have people of all these branches nearby, and Rita and Marilyn, and we have Celia, we have Allison, there's Margulies, there's Silverkind, there's all kind with Marcia there. We have lots of, we have Feldmarian family there too, Andrea and so forth, and Jamie and Robin, and so all these people, and we're giving you all big kisses. And of course, you've been outreached to by Henry and Mom Patricia, and there's where you're going to be in big trouble that you did not honor that. You are in big trouble, and I'm not quite sure how to help you, but to pray for you. And so then let's show our big family tree again. Right, and there we have our very good ceremony, and let's say we'll start fresh with clarity and purity instead of patriarchy. As we have our bowl of fruits and vegetables and chocolates, white wrapped in gold and world globe chocolates, and we'll say we'll pick Parity Paradise on this on all our planets, and we'll say no to any more patriarchy, because that we know that means planeticide. It always means planeticide. And we should learn that from what happened to Mars, okay? And we can save Venus and Mars and Earth. We can terraform them all if we will save ourselves from patriarchy. We'll pick Parity, past, present, future as equinox cues, marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming, becoming fruit of wise thoughts, and loving, milky human kindness, milky chocolates, of our co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, solar, budding, blooming, gardening, and growing co-secretary generals, co-secretaries. All right, and then we'll quickly say as we always do. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earth, past, present, future, as Equinox Recused, Co-Secretary General, Co-Secretary. And I also neglected to mention among the younger women, there's Jennifer and there's Jessica, and I also forgot to mention Jennifer and Leah and Ann, and there's a whole bunch of Margolian women that I really need to add. There's a whole bunch there, Ivanka and Ivy. Okay, and you're all getting these emails. Let's say it again. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of all our earths and earths, past, present, future, as Equinox Recused, Co-Secretary General, Co-Secretary. There's a lot of you that are getting the emails whose personal first names I didn't have the opportunity to say, because without you gathering here, I'm doing too much and I have too many things to do, and so I'm just like the people like the matzah. I'm not risen because I'm holding up the temple for you, and you're not holding up the temple, and that's why I'm doing over much. You're not doing enough. And you're not doing anything where you're enough. You need to make the change. All right? Take your positive steps. Come broadcast. Connect with one another. Connect with me. And I'm going to send this message on the phone tree.
Your greeting is saved. To change extension type, press 1. To record extension name, press 2. To manage greeting, press